Hello Southeastern MBA students. The purpose of this video is to show you how to use the MM1 template in Chapter 13 for queuing. And what this template will show you is some basic metrics about a queue. And it's also important to note that the equations are already in your template. You just have to make sure that you get the right inputs in each template in order to get the results. But you don't actually have to worry about putting in formulas this week. I know you're all thrilled about that. Okay, so what is this MM1 template good for? Well, the MM1 template will work if you are looking to analyze a queue that's in steady state. Steady state means that the arrival times are constant and the service times are constant. The template will not work if you have arrival times or service times that vary hugely. For instance, if you have really different arrival times based on the time of day, each section of the day when the arrival time changed, that could be in steady state, but the day as a whole could not be analyzed as a steady state. If you wanted to do that, you would have to go through simulation. You could also run each section of the day with the different arrival times and service rates. You could run each of those individually and get some data off of that if you didn't want to go to full simulation. All right, so let's look at how this works. I am going to show you number 9 on the problems. You were tasked with doing problem 10. I'm going to show you how to do problem 9. So first of all, we've got to figure out what our arrival rate is and our unit of time and our service rate. So your problem text says that 40 customers are arriving per hour. So that means our unit of time here is per hour and our arrival rate is going to be 40 customers. And 60 customers per hour can be served. Now, how did we know that? It says it takes an average of 1 minute to serve a customer. Okay, so the service time is 1 minute per customer, but because we have to be consistent, we can't put 1 and use hours for the arrival rate and 1 for the service rate. They have to be consistent. Now, we can convert one or the other. In this case, we're just going to convert the service rate to 60 an hour because you can serve 1 per minute, so that's 60 in an hour. All right, so what does this data tell you? You get a lot of data here, but what does it tell you? Okay, this number right here in B10 shows you the mean time between arrivals. So that, remember, this is in hours. Okay, we can convert it to minutes if we want to, but it's in hours. This one is how long it actually takes to serve, which is B11, so that is 0.017. And this shows how many are in the queue at one time. So at any given time, we expect, not in the queue, in the system. And there's a reason I stopped and corrected myself. So in the system includes both waiting to be served and being served. So with an arrival rate of 40 and a service rate of 60, we would expect about 2 to be in the system at any one time. We would expect 1.33 to be in the queue. So these are not people who are being served, they are waiting for service. Okay, so the other 0.67, the other 2/3 would be actually being served. Okay, the expected time in service equates to 5/100ths of an hour. So if you wanted to convert that to minutes, because that might make a little bit more sense, you would take 60 times 0.05 and they would spend an average of each person spends an average of 3 minutes in the system. Okay, so they spend 0.033 of an hour actually in the queue. So again, you can convert that by doing 60 times 0.033, and that would convert it to minutes. So they spend 1.98 minutes in the queue, and the other 1.02 minutes they are going to be spending actually being served. The servers are going to be utilized 66.7% of the time. So that means that you're going to have roughly 1/3 of the time where your servers are not being fully utilized in this model. All right, now I want to give you some hints for the homework problem that you're going to work on with this model, which is problem 10. So problem 10 doesn't just want you to list out the metrics. It wants you to provide a recommendation for whether to purchase the fast copy machine or the slow copy machine based on the actual cost of the machines to the company. So first of all, you can't do them both on the same template at the same time. You'll have to do one and then you'll have to do the other. The easiest way actually is going to be to do a separate or do two different templates and label them as like fast or slow or something like that. So you can move and or you hit move and copy, and you can create a copy of this worksheet, and then you can do both of them. You can relabel the worksheet pretty easily. But anyway, all right, so the next thing that you're going to have to deal with is how are you going to calculate the cost to the employees per hour? Well, let's think about this logically. Okay, you're going to take the number that tells how many are in the system at any given time. That's going to be the easiest way to do that, because if there's employees in the system, then they're not being productive. So what you'll do is you'll take the number that's in the system and you will multiply that number by the cost per hour. So that's how you're going to determine how much it costs in employee time for each copy machine. Then you'll also have to do the rental cost per hour for the machine as well and factor that in. And so you are then going to do that for both of them and then provide a recommendation as to which copy machine is more cost effective for the department. So the things to remember when you are using this MM1 template is to make sure that your arrival rate and your service rate are calculated using the same unit of time. Do not use minutes for one and hours for the other. It will not work. Okay. The other thing is make sure that the assumption is met that the arrival rate and the service rate isn't changing during the time frame you're using this template, and that the arrival rate has to be less than the service rate. Actually, let's look at what happens when I make the arrival rate more than the service rate. It can't handle that. This template will not work. You start seeing -5 in Q, and so that does not work at all. Okay, so basically what would happen here is that the queue would just keep getting longer and longer and longer, and it would never even out or reach a steady state. So that's why you cannot use it. If you have any questions, as always, send me an email, call me. I am happy to help you, and I hope you have a great day, and God bless.